while, but I just can't be personally responsible. That's one of the weaknesses of a partnership, isn't it, Sid?
Well, maybe you better incorporate the store.
Incorporate?
Yes. Incorporating would give you the big advantage of what you want right now. Limited liability. You start with a group of people who want to invest their money in a company. Then these people apply for a charter as a corporation. This government issues a charter to that corporation. Now that corporation operates legally as an individual person. It is not a group of people. It is under the law a legal person.
Imperial Steel Incorporated has many of the legal rights of a person. It can buy and sell property. It can borrow money. It can sue in court and be sued. It carries on a business. Imperial Steel, along with thousands of other legal persons, is a part of our daily living. It is a member of our society.
Después de adquirir los derechos y las protecciones legales de una persona, ahora nos preguntamos, ¿qué tipo de persona es una corporación?
A las corporaciones se les otorgaron derechos como si fueran personas inmortales. Son un tipo especial de personas, personas que no tienen conciencia moral. No son como los seres humanos de los que esperas que se preocupen por los demás y cosas así. Estas personas son un tipo especial diseñadas por la ley para que solo se preocupen de sus accionistas y no del resto de las personas que se ven afectadas por ellas, como la sociedad, los empleados y demás.
There are none more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe that they are free. But few who hear the words ever realize that they are the ones to whom Goethe was referring. For the reality is that every person in the civilized world is enslaved from childhood. They are enslaved in a prison without walls or bars, and so few ever realize it, but all are enslaved nonetheless. And what the people of the world are enslaved to is a system of perpetual, self-generating debt that is created for them wholly by design by private international banking interests. And the people are taught from an early age to just accept this debt because this is just the way things are. But the reality is that this is not just the way things are, but more the way things have been designed. And all one has to do is to glance around them at the state of the world today to realize that though this is the way things currently are, it is most definitely not the way things should be. The most powerful and useful tool a person can ever gain in their life is knowledge. For with knowledge comes wisdom and a deeper understanding. And real truth can be exhilarating because real truth will set you free. Now whether you believe in the Illuminati...
This is where we get a little bit more bizarre, but not really bizarre, only the area beyond what people normally talk about in terms of this conspiracy. There's people all over the world now who are researching this and communicating it and, you know, great stuff. But if you are limited by a belief system, particularly a religious belief system, and many researchers of this conspiracy come from that background, then you'll go so far, which is about as far as we've come today so far, but you won't go into this next bit. And for me, this next bit is where we need to go to find the way out of this. Because unless we know how we're creating it, then how do we know how to uncreate it? Because the answers are not out there, because there is no out there. So I'm going to now go into the realms of how we create reality, and therefore how it can be manipulated, and understanding that. And that's why I call this now the really important bit, because this is where all the strands from earlier in the day start to come together, and we can start to see a way out of this, and also understand much more profoundly why society is structured as it is. It all starts to make sense once we realize the nature of reality, and the fact that beyond the bushes and the blares and the shadowy core, this knowledge which has been passed on through the thousands of years is the knowledge that they use to manipulate our sense of reality, while we understand very little about what's actually going on. Our thoughts are not necessarily our thoughts, but implanted thoughts. So
I've always been interested in secret things, alternative stories. My background is as a news reporter, and I learned early on about the so-called secret societies. And my question was, do they really exist? And more importantly, do they have any power? Over a period of 30, 35 years, I have studied, read, talked, experienced, and I want to tell you they're real, they're here, and yes, within the inner core elite, they definitely have power. And I think this is an anathema to the whole concept of a free, open, and democratic America.
The concept of New World Order, even the term, before you even get into the whole subject matter, you only need to look at the term. New World Order is found in Latin underneath the pyramid on the dollar bill, Norvis Ordo Seclorum, which comes from the Latin poet Ovid. So it's an old Roman concept, a Roman term. Roman symbolism is something that needs to be studied because you have the Roman eagle, which was then picked up by the Nazis, and now you find it in America. You find it at the top of the flagpoles, you find it on the federal government, you find it on the dollar bill, the symbol of the eagle. In the landing on the moon, you hear them talking about the eagle has landed. You know, what kind of eagle are we talking about here? And Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order, has a resonance with Nazi Germany because in Nazi Germany you have Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler's first book, the most important known book, was called Mein Kampf, but his second book was actually called The New World Order.
At the heart of the secret societies lie some of the most powerful people in this country. Alan Greenspan, for example, can be connected to these people. These people run the major banks, major insurance companies. Now, we don't really stop and think about these folks or these organizations, but they exert a tremendous impact on the lives of every single individual citizen.
So if they can control that, they are literally programming a computer to see the world in the way that they want us to see it. And that's what they've done. The idea is to keep us in the 5-sense reality because they control that. And that's holding us in the level of the computer. This is a symbol of this tunnel that near-death experiences constantly talk about, where they're moving from this reality into another reality beyond human sight. Because we think, and I say we, I mean most people, we think that when we look through our eyes, we are seeing what exists in the space we are looking at. In fact, we are seeing through physical sight an infinitesimal fraction of what exists in this space. We're seeing a tiny frequency range accessible by 5 senses.
Un indio que está en el océano, ve hacia el horizonte, llegan los barcos de Colón, no los ve. ¿Por qué no los puede ver? Porque no tiene el mismo modelo en la cabeza de la construcción de un tipo de casa tan grande que puede flotar en el mar. Entonces no puede verlo, porque no tiene una vasija que puede revelar eso. Tiene que haber una vasija antes y después revela la forma que puede investirse dentro del Kli. Pero después de eso, cuando escucha sobre eso y construye dentro de su cabeza todo tipo de dibujos y moldes, entonces comienza a verlo. Poco a poco el barco y ve. Y cuando lo ve, va al resto de los indios y les cuenta, ¿saben qué? Ustedes no los ven, pero yo veo. Comiencen a imaginar que es así, 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 una casa con varios pisos, un tipo de montaña y que se acerca a nosotros. Entonces ellos, dentro de su imaginación, construyen en su cabeza los kilim y cuando lo tienen, lo ven. La verdad es que ellos están equivocados porque el barco tampoco existe. Existe solamente la imaginación del que imagina, porque no existe este mundo es todo imaginario. Pero ese ya es otro paso, no llegaron a eso. Pero ¿qué quiero decir? ¿En qué este ejemplo es correcto y bueno? Si no tienes los kelim, no identifica nada de afuera. ¿Y cómo puedo construir un kli en mí si no sé lo que pasa fuera de mí? Alguien necesita contarme sobre eso.
Structural design of the system manifestation, in terms of what it looks like, where it's situated, the technical details of the system manifestation, and then how it is that through existing within and as the system manifestation, you, within using energy, create, design, and manifest personalities of energy, and through that personalities, through self-accepting and allowing self to live and exist as such created, design, and manifested personalities, you construct, form, and shape your life experience in this world. All events, people, situations, circumstances, everything of one's life within this world, self is the source of it all. Okay?